Three, two. Welcome everyone to the Hot Slice, a podcast brought to you by the team at Pizza Today. I am creative director Josh Cowan. Along with me, executive editor of Pizza Today. You all know her, Miss Denise Greer. Hello,
Hey
Denise.
Josh, hello and happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
Yes, so we're just a couple days away from the new year, and I'm so excited to kick off 2024. I have a lot of personal goals. I got a lot of goals with Pizza Today that I wanna get into there, and goals with operators that I want to see them reach too. So.
Well, I'm glad you have goals. I just want to get through the year. Okay.
I got you. I gotcha. And yeah, they've got a really busy day coming up because New Year's Eve and New Year's Day are huge. So hang in there. Y'all are almost
Yeah.
almost to a little bit of a break, I hope, where it's not such madness.
Then you got the Super Bowl coming up and
And
all
then
that
the
stuff.
Super Bowl, and then so it's
Playoffs.
fine. It's fine.
Anyway.
You'll be good. So we are jumping into 2024. I got a big thing off of my to-do list in December, and that was publishing the 2024 Pizza Industry Trends Report. So if you haven't seen that, go to pizzatoday.com. If you're planning your 2024 menus and things, we're looking at what's happening nationwide with trends, and also regionally we're looking at the regions to see what's hot. And we can tell you, man, people adding multiple styles is like the thing to do. Like there are so many people having multiple styles in their shops, whether it's just two or even more, four, five. It's insane the number of pizzerias that I'm seeing add a style. It's great.
Yeah. It's funny. I go back to our conversation with Tony Gimignani on that. When he first started doing the multiple styles from his restaurant,
Yeah.
people were like, you're crazy, you're
You're
crazy.
crazy. Why
And
would you
I
do that?
mean, fast forward to 2024, it is the thing to do now. So
It
shout out
is. It
there.
is.
Yeah,
It it is.
great.
And I love how some people are bringing in the new style by just doing it once a week.
Yeah,
Making
right.
it
Making it special.
Detroit Wednesday,
Yeah,
Tavern Tuesday. I love it. Just making it an easy way to introduce it without overwhelming you or your staff.
yeah,
So if you're interested in a new style, try that out. Just one day. Pick your lightest day. If you can
right.
increase the volume on your lightest day, then do it. Um, so I will tell you that we are replaying one of our favorite episodes this week because we are taking a little bit of time off here at Pizza Today. We've been working hard,
Time to
uh, and I,
reset.
and we're going to reset to into the new year, and we'll see you right at the first of the year. It's going to be we're excited for 2024. Of course, Pizza Expo's 40th anniversary, so it's going to be a big year.
Big one for sure.
All right. So on the podcast this week, we are replaying an episode with Mya Anitai, and she's with Franny's Pizzeria and Restaurant, and she's in Highlands, New Jersey. And I loved our conversation with Mya. She had opened her restaurant right before the pandemic started. So, she had all of the headaches with that. She actually had another restaurant that she had opened previously, so she was actually coming to a new area from Virginia all the way over to New Jersey to open up this very established pizzeria. So they had taken over an established pizzeria. So not only did she have to, worry about starting a new pizzeria, but also meeting the expectations of being in a
Right.
legendary kind of historic pizzeria. So I loved our conversation with her.
Yeah, I did too. So let's get right into it, and we'll see you in 2024 again.
All right. Happy New Year. See you then.
Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide.
Well, hey, Mia, welcome to the Hot Slice podcast. We're glad to have you on this morning.
Yeah,
Thank you
absolutely.
for having me.
And we're going to
Appreciate it.
apologize right now. This is a Monday morning for us,
Yeah.
so we're trying to get rolling and get hyped. So-
Monday morning for all of us. So yeah.
Not only that, Monday morning Yom Kippur.
Oh, it
Oh, yeah.
is. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
water only.
Water
I'm gonna
only.
break fast
Uh-oh.
pretty soon. Don't worry.
I'm sorry, I have coffee.
No, I didn't. No big
Yeah.
deal. For all of those who are fasting, easy
Yes.
fast. Hope you break it soon.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, tell us, how's business right now for you in New Jersey? You know, what are you going through right now?
Business, we're in what we call local summer. So
Okay.
that's after all the kids go back to school, everybody leaves the Jersey Shore, and then all the people who were hiding that are locals from the tourists come out of the woodworks for, fall wind. It's the best. It's everybody's favorite time of the year, local summer. So, business, the chaotic craziness of New Yorkers and people come into Sandy Hook Gateway National Park, which is right next to Franny's. That's mellowed a bit,
Okay.
taken it down a little bit. And now we're really in this kind of very chill favorite time of the year, local summer, where everybody comes out and eats on the terrace. You're not sweating. You can stay there, BYOB, hang out outside all night. It's great.
I love that. Now, how much of an impact does kind of the tourism play on your business? Since you are right there in that, because I actually, my cousin got married near Sandy Hook. So
really?
I know that area pretty well. And I could see how that would be just a huge driver, of people coming in from New York and other places to kind of hit that shoreline.
It's massive. It's out of control. It's like, I forgot what the number is, 20,000, 30,000 people come every day. The traffic is backed up like miles and miles.
Yikes.
We have to, all the shortcuts, and sometimes the cops let us weave in and out for deliveries locally. But yeah, it's massive. From the moment 4th of July, or even before that, June to end of August, it's so much business is from Sandy Hook goers. It's great.
Oh, wow.
Staffing wise, like what
That's what I
what
wanted
kind of
to know.
position are you in? Like, do you gauge for that, or do you just kind of keep the same?
I do. No. I have I do have seasonal staff. College kids come back, help serve. I also have I just have like a great core group of mostly moms and grandmoms who've been hanging out with me for like,
Amazing.
2-3 years, and their kids will come and work during the summertime. And everybody just be like, I don't really have that many full-time people. It's more people putting together perfect schedules for like when their kids aren't around. So it works out really great. And then, like kitchen stays the same, because no matter what, we're still cooking and moving out of the kitchen. But the front, certainly in January when it's freezing at the shore, nobody's eating out in the garden or in the terrace. I don't recommend it. Not comfortable, but come on into the inside.
No.
Yeah. So we fluctuate. We're flexible.
Yeah, well, that's good. I like that. We actually used to do several stories on how, when you hit those tourism peaks, how, hiring those summer staff or the holiday staff, as you're looking into this fall season, fall just hit, we just had the equinox, and as we move forward into like some of the bigger pizza days of the year, how are you working into that season? Halloween's coming up,
well, it's very
days.
bittersweet. We're closed on Tuesdays, and Halloween's on a Tuesday this year. So I was like,
no. Well, maybe just one Tuesday you can open up.
I know. I thought about it. Like it's fine. Let the other guys have Tuesdays for this year. We'll get back next year.
Yeah, I got you.
But we'll do a lot of, we do fun stuff for the kids. We do the ghost pies in the shape of the ghosts. And I just moved into seasonal fall specials, which will keep going until around, Thanksgiving time. So I love fall. I love fall vegetables. I get very excited for all the fall flavors. I'm ready to put on sweaters.
All right, we need to talk about this, the fall specials. What are you highlighting? Like what's the big thing on your fall menus right now?
I think the one that everybody gets excited about and that I don't do in the summer is when we bring back all the figs prosciutto, spicy honey, all that stuff. Because you do get them in the summer, but they're so quick. And then right after all the rain, all the fig trees, especially around here, just pop. So it's like Oh, yeah, I'm gonna hit you in the fall. So the fig prosciutto pizza with ricotta and spicy honey and garlic, that's my favorite, and that's definitely a crowd pleaser.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then we're doing the mushroom barley soup, trying to do vegan options always. That's a vegan mushroom barley soup that I put on when I have vegetarian, gluten-free, vegan always is important to me at the pizzeria.
Oh, wow.
Pumpkin tartufo for dessert. Come on.
Oh my god.
And let's talk about your very diverse menu. I mean, you go on your Instagram page and it's just amazing all the stuff I'm seeing there.
Thank you.
Is your kitchen wise, do you have a very big kitchen, or how are you putting
No,
all that?
no, we have a small kitchen.
I was thinking.
Yeah, so but there's two sections, which is great because one section is all the food that's, all the fresh sandwiches and entrees, pastas. There's a cheese melter back there, so we can brown up there, but the pizza oven's on a separate side. So pizza is its own thing at the restaurant.
Got it.
So, separate hoods. So that's cool because it gives us a little more flexibility because you're not always opening a pizza oven into somebody else's head who's trying to get into, the saute or and it also helps because hopefully, knock on wood, equipment lasts a little bit longer because you're not just heating it from both sides like a lot of kitchens, just get sandwiched between the pizza oven and the range. So that's pretty cool to be able to have that space, breathe a little in the middle of the Jersey Shore summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the menu is I'd say like before I took over, it used to be Francesco's Pizzeria for 40 years, owned by my very dear friend Giorgio. We became great friends during the last few years when I met him. And he was putting out, he had a very classic red sauce menu, huge menu.
Yeah.
And when I took over, I kept what were the most popular from his menu, changed them a little bit, changed ingredients, really worked on making sure we're doing the best ingredients that we can and then I also brought in specials from my other restaurant, Dinamo, that's in Richmond, Virginia, and that was that's a Mediterranean style restaurant. It started as an Italian Jewish sort of fusion restaurant. And we did a lot of vegan and healthy, lots of fresh greens and vegetables. And I really wanted to do more of that because that's what I like to eat and that's what my family wants to eat. Yeah. And that way you get everybody's got a little something.
Yeah. And you have a very culinary focus. You know what you're doing with
it's very obvious. You look at the photos and you're like, okay, I want this pizza, I want this grandma pizza, I want this slice. Oh my goodness, it's amazing.
Thank you. I had great
how
teachers.
How did you develop it? How did you learn and how are you passing it on? That's what I like.
Yeah, I guess I worked in restaurants with, I knew they were fantastic chefs and great, but they were never chefy. You know what I mean? There was nobody calling each other chef. It was no there was no
screaming in the kitchen.
There was a lot of screaming in the kitchen, but it wasn't in that kind of dynamic. Right. Yeah. It was more of just like a wild saloon, which is why I like, Franny's. I love it when it's crazy. And I love when the kids are going nuts and like the more chaotic, the better, I organize chaos, of course, but I like that vibe. I think it's fun when it's like everybody's just all going crazy at once, but having great food. And that's what it was. The my mentor Ed Basayo and my partner Brad Wine. Those are my partners down in Richmond. They had a bunch of restaurants, and they're just incredible beast chefs. They're the best. So they taught me. I worked with them. Not at the time with intention to open a restaurant. I loved it. And then when the opportunity came, I was like, all right, let's see what happens.
Let's take you back to when you bought Francesco's and it turned it into Franny's. You had a 2-month-old, 3-month-old right as you were buying that. I mean, that blows my mind.
It was a weird choice. Able to pull that off.
Yeah,
it was a strange choice that I made at the time. What happened is I knew when I was going to be moving to New Jersey because that's where my husband lives, my now husband. And when I was like, we're going to do it for love. So we had been looking for restaurants down there. I'd been looking around because I was like, I love it so much. But I'm going to live here. I'd love to do another Dinamo or something.
Yeah.
We looked at tons of places, Red Bank, Rumson. We were looking, you know, as far down as Asbury and up north. And then I found Francesco from a friend who also owned a restaurant. She owns et al. In Highlands, and really nice restaurant, coffee shop, great outdoor bar. I just happened to go in there, and she had really nice food out, and I was like, oh, I like this lady. She knows where to get good olive oil. I'm gonna tap her at some point for more information.
Yeah.
And she became a good friend. So she's like, I think the pizzeria is for sale up the street. And I was like, okay. So I just happened to go by it, and it had the most beautiful garden, which like Ed at Mama Zoo had always had a beautiful garden that we would go outside and trim all the vegetables for dinner service. And it was perfect. It felt right. So I had met him. There's a little bit of a long story about how the deal fell through. It got, you know, not because of us. The real estate agents kind of flubbed the deal.
Yeah.
So I had come back. When I saw the restaurant, I was 3 months pregnant. And then I had come back like a year later and been like, I know this is the place. I know you and I could talk. And he was like, I was so hoping that you would come back because I didn't have your information and that we could like figure this out together. And then we just became great friends. And I was like, will you wait, you know, for my baby to be can I shadow you? Even though like I bought it and we'll slow crawl out of it. So that was it. And I would just bring her with me to work and shadow him, you know, as she was getting a little bit bigger before I could really take it over. But yeah, it was really awesome.
How long was the shadow process?
Maybe like 3 months. That's when I realized, you know, before we actually made the sale and everything, that's when I realized that, you know, I wasn't going to open up a Dinamo to Jersey Shore because I would see people coming in, and we do oil press pizza in Dinamo, and it's still my favorite pizza in the whole wide world ever.
Gosh.
All hail oil press bar pie.
I love it.
But, you know, so I thought I was going to do that. And I just saw like these people have been eating at this restaurant for 40 years, like their moms. And it was they didn't need a little higher end. They need a saloon. They need a pizzeria saloon. And so it was quite easy when I made that decision. I was like, you teach me what you know, I'll do what I know. And then we'll make, you know, a great combination of what it should be.
I mean, that's brilliant. It's I mean, more people taking over businesses should be able to do that. I mean,
it was lucky. I didn't see it at first totally, but you know, it just became, I like was a little bit nervous because I didn't want to take away from some people what they really were loving. It's like there is still a need for this style in the community. So it kind of, the decision made itself.
Yeah. How was that retaining those clients? Like, did they get it? Like when you changed ingredients and kind of switched things up, did they get it? Or did you get a lot of pushback from that? Like, how was that process?
Well, I had a ton of support off the get from people who could see that there were fresh ingredients. People who like, you know, pepperoni cups were new to the area at the time. Spicy honey was not around. And, you know, certainly not reinventing any wheels, but like just being able to introduce stuff that I love that was right across the water. So like certain things, I got a lot of like local backlash about pepperoni choices and just, you know, gentle razzing. Some, I would say mostly old timers were not psyched at all, even in the least, which I expected. But then, you know, like 6 months into it, the pandemic hit. So, you know, we changed and pivoted, and we never closed the door once. We were open the whole time with like fluctuating hours and turning into a shop, and you know, it was crazy. But I think during that point, we really kind of earned the community trust because we were pushing it as hard as we could, like doing whatever we could for contactless, just figuring it out as we went real fast. Because I was like, we're not going down without a fight. So, you know, I think in that case, everybody kind of got on board in the community, and now we're pretty, you know, we have great customers, very loyal. Everybody's very supportive.
Awesome.
Had you already rebranded by the pandemic, or was that
like
after?
1 month before?
Okay.
So I had like taken over and was like doing the Francesco thing as I got systems in place and just kind of started cleaning up what was already there. And then I was gonna like, you know, slowly introduce my stuff through specials. I was trying to be, you know, diplomatic to the town slightly. And then when we really did the rebrand and changed everything and like made it official. It went over great. Like we had a lot of fun with it, and
Good.
but it didn't give people a whole lot of time to not be on board, because then that was January, and then by March, February, March, we were everybody was closed down.
Well, in the pandemic, like it was such a time for pizzerias to shine. Like,
Oh yeah,
like if there's a time for you to really showcase who you are and who you can become, it was during that time.
Agreed.
People were doing that. So hats off to you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot, but it's what a learning experience at this point.
Now I'm curious, because you've got the two restaurants, like how are you able as an owner to manage between the both? Like, do you travel between, or do you let somebody else just handle the other restaurant? Like what, like how does
I'm
work?
pretty hands off at Dinamo at this point. I was there, the first 3.5 years, just living upstairs, working the crazy hours, the 120 hours a week style to make it happen. And then sometime around the third year, I re-met my husband, who I'd met 20 years before on a rock and roll tour. Yeah,
Wow.
it was weird. We randomly met each other, or ran into each other in Koreatown in New York. So anyway,
Sounds like a whole different podcast that we need to go about.
Yeah,
right?
It's a wild
do
story.
a pizza love story podcast. Like, I think that would be awesome.
There's a lot of pizzeria couples. I think I see them a lot of. Anyway, so I didn't see that curveball coming when I had opened my restaurant 3 years ago in Richmond. But over the next 2 years, we got a great manager. My partners, stepped in more, and my best friend from high school was one of the cooks there, and so it's in good hands. And if they ever need anything, and for a while I was going back and forth, and then I just tried to kind of be like, hey guys. So they call me if they need anything, but otherwise it's running great, and they have a wonderful staff, and I couldn't be prouder to see it thriving and doing well. I ate there a couple weeks ago with my husband. We went down to Richmond to visit friends, and the meal was so good. My parents still go regularly.
Oh, well, that's good. That's
awesome. Please go visit Dinamo Richmond. Great spot. But I'm not there. Franny's is my main focus at this point.
Oh, that's great. I always think about so we're in this fall season, and we're getting ready to hit the winter season, and this is a time when a lot of pizzerias are looking at what they're going to do moving forward. What's really kind of on your mind, and what are you really thinking about as you move forward into the next year, or even the next couple of years with Franny's?
Well, I want to make sure Franny's itself is, there's some possibility to expand there a little bit, but we'll see with that. I want to keep Franny's just going strong like it is. I kind of love the untouched vibe. It's not, I hope that it is looking at least similar to what it looks like now at the Jersey Shore in 30 more years. But what I want to focus on during our slower seasonal time, I'm really interested in frozen pizza.
Okay.
First of all, I'd like to. I have another friend down in Richmond, Virginia, Billy Pie. He does frozen pizzas, and he really inspired me. He's like, you already have all the tools there, put it together, and yeah. So I'm curious to go down that road a little bit, and that would be specifically, I'm working on our Franny's granny, the grandma pie.
Oh, you're gonna do the grandma pie. Now let us know when that becomes available on one of the services, because I'll order it to come to my house so that I can try.
You got it. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just I'm just shoving samples onto friends and family. I'm like, cook this for 25 minutes, take a picture, tell me what it looks like.
Exactly.
But hopefully this winter, I'm looking forward to really, honing that a little bit more. And then, there's always ideas of potential spin-off other restaurants if the place is right. We look around, but it's got to, the shoe has to fit. It's got to be the right feel. It's got to be like Francesco's was,
Yeah, you have multiple styles. Was that something that you brought on, or was that something that was already there when you took it over?
It was already there. So Giorgio, Francesco, who was the original guy who sold it to him, and now that's why everybody called him Francesco. He was doing the New York style press. He was doing the flour tossed pizza. Thank you. Okay. New York style flour tossed pizza. There we go. And the gentleman before him that he bought it from was only doing oil press pizzas like we do at, at Dinamo.
Yeah.
So he had those on the menu, but like nobody was really into them.
Yeah.
And he would also do Sicilian, the thick oil press style as well. But when I came there, I didn't really see anybody ordering those. And I was still trying to figure out how I could get Dinamo's pizzas in with these, but like the temperatures are a little bit different, the timing. And then like somebody had ordered a grandma pie and it came out of the oven. I was like, what is that? Like, are you kidding me? I was like, you've been hiding this in the back. And so with that shell, I started doing like the Dinamo style with that, and just combined both to turn into what I'm obsessed with, is this like the oil pressed thin crust grandma pie with fresh mozzarella. And, it's the most beautiful vehicle. I want to eat it all the time. I do eat it all the time.
So it's like a little mashup almost of what you love, putting it together.
Yeah, totally. So I had him teach me the size of things I didn't know, and then I brought in this, and we opened in the Franny's.
Yeah. How is that? I'm curious about the crust with using kind of the two different methods together. How does your crust compare to like a traditional grandma?
Well, I use the same dough. I do use the same dough. So that was something that at Dinamo, we use a much wetter, sticky, high gluten oil pressed dough. I did a lot of experiments on how to use. I wanted to be able to homogenize. I was like, I know that there's got to be a way that we can make the same thing happen and it'll be delicious. So we figured out how to separate them and store them a little bit differently so that the grandma pie crust will end up being nice and, pressed down, oily and crunchy in the right places. I love them.
That's awesome. Now, are you considering are there any other styles that are on your mind that you're considering kind of toying with, maybe putting on the menu or just experimenting with?
Pizza styles, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always want to have a good, as I mentioned, vegan pizza and gluten-free. And right now we do offer both of them and they're very good, but I'm like convinced that there's some kind of, I want there to be some kind of like incredible vegan cheese that I haven't discovered yet.
Yeah.
That's like, I want more for my vegan customers. It's good and they're happy. But like, they've got to do better. There's so many new amazing vegan products and vegetarian substitutes out there, and I just don't know why commercially we haven't really nailed the cheese. And if anybody, trust me, I'm out here trying.
Yeah, exactly.
But open to more suggestions, because I've yet to find the one that's really like, I want a vegan person or non-vegan person to be like, this is great.
Yeah, I try a lot of vegan cheeses at Pizza Expo and like Pizza and Pasta Northeast, that'll be next week or Sunday, I guess. So I try a lot of vegan cheeses because vegan cheeses really have come a long way.
Yeah.
I have a lot of vegan friends and they experiment with like doing cultured vegan cheeses. Like, it's amazing, like the science behind the new technology in it. But there are some that the melt quality is really getting really amazing. So it's just
that's what I'm looking for. It's like I have some that taste good, but they melt like just visually are unappetizing. And then I've tried some that are it's like some that look great, but when you taste it, you're like, this is a plastic nut, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I get you. Well,
I'm working towards that.
Will you be at Pizza and Pasta Northeast? It's right down the coast.
I know. No, I was hoping to. I couldn't make it work between the smaller staffing after the summer schedule and the kids. But it's gonna be fun. We're gonna make it sometime.
Yeah, you gotta just come to Pizza Expo. It's gonna be our 40th this year, so it'll be a big one to go to. Yeah,
that's the one. That's the one to go to.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Google Maps how far it was to your pizzeria from Atlantic City, so I was like, I'm making a small road trip maybe because the pizza is so good, but it's like an hour and a half. So I don't know.
It's like an hour and a half. It's not that. Jersey is so big.
Yeah, and we're not getting a rental car, so that's it's gonna be a hard transport up to there. So unfortunately,
I'm sorry. I appreciate the gesture that you want to come. It's when it's closer, please. Anytime you're welcome.
That would be amazing. Well, we thank you so much for popping on to the podcast this morning and talking to us. It's been a delight. And we can't wait to follow your pizza journey. And if you ever have any ideas or want to share anything, make sure you reach out to me. We've always been in contact on email, so you can hit me up anytime.
Thank you all so much for having me on. I appreciate it. Have a good day, guys.
Best of luck with everything.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.